in this video, we're going to be honing in on another small but what I think is significantly important detail to comment on about pervy Prince Andy, who is going to be facing court later this year, or rather a civil trial case for his, sexual assault to a teenager. So we're going to be getting into that later this year, but I wanted to point out something else I found rather interesting, because in my previous video I talked about how it's been 10 years since the claims actually started, and I think that's also including the Jeffrey Epstein claims and everything like that. And so the next detail that really stuck out to me was the fact that he retired from his public duties only in 2019. And it was after his interview on the BBC Newsnight. Now, BBC is the British broadcasting channel. It's like our version of cable, or most cable. We've got like 3 channels you can have on just normal, whatever cable, I guess, and or terrestrial channels. I can't even say the word. And so the BBC is like the main channel for like Britain in that way. Sky News is a bit different, and ITV, they're all a bit different. So for the BBC to have been having this interview, it was a result of that interview that led to him retiring in November 2019. Now, 2019 was only 3 years ago of this 10 years since all these claims have been started. And this is what is bothering me, because it's like, again, shout out to the BBC Newsnight for actually doing that interview and actually allowing it to be that controversial. I have to give it to the BBC. I don't know who's running the BBC, but I support you. You guys are doing great on EastEnders, and even though sometimes I don't like some of the things you report on the main news, they do a lot of good documentaries, guys, about a lot of stuff. So you should watch the BBC documentaries. They have an interesting way of telling stories. So I was very happy to see that they decided to go out from what was probably comfortable with pervy Prince Andy. But of course, that was only 3 years ago. So you guys can just see, like, again, and what did I want to highlight in this video? It's the fact that these things, they just get away with it, and they just delay, and they just lie. I mean, in here, he was saying how he doesn't sweat. This is one where he was saying, I think this is the one where he was saying, like, he didn't even sweat, and she claimed that she was sweating. And I talked about this in another video, that, like, why are you just trying to pick apart her story? Like, why does it even matter? Maybe she could just be lying. Why do you even have to respond? It's almost like he's so bothered by how truthful it is and trying to make sure he doesn't get in trouble, that he's almost overcorrecting the situation, because she could have just said stuff like sweating is a pretty normal thing to happen at parties in life and whatever, and so in work. So it kind of is weird that he had felt the need to pipe up about that specifically. But yeah, it's just interesting how, it was only 3 years ago he did that interview, but again, it was still all that 3 years ago. Other people would have been caught for the same thing and would have been in prison already. They would have been HMP, Her Majesty's Prison, in the UK, as I've mentioned before. And so again, just a complete other example of course, we haven't got the result of the trial, I must say, but it's just another example of the benefits that people who have a lot of money and power, what they have with the justice system. And this is why I talk about the justice system, because I need people to understand. Yes, I need people to understand that the justice system is not just. God is just. The justice system is not just. The justice system is built so that if you want to get away with anything, there are ways to get away with anything. But if you don't have what it requires to get anything, which is power and money, you are subject to this law. And because we've made it this way, you can't really contest with the fact that someone like Prince Andrew can pay his way out of stuff, or attempt to, because he's just following the same justice system you are in. Do you see what I mean? So it's just this whole big trick that benefits them and always doesn't benefit the average person. And I talked about this even with Travis Scott, where people were shocked to hear that there was 750 million. And I was like, that's not a lot of money to these people. That's not a lot of money. Like, one of the things that, the rich people, I think they thrive off of about us average individuals, is the fact that because a lot of people are not used to having a lot of money, like being a millionaire is like a rarity. When you're presented, when people aren't used to having a lot of money or seeing big figures of money, they kind of look at lower figures of money as a big deal. So I think people thinking, oh, 750 million, like that's so much. Imagine just having a million. Like some people now would just be happy to have a million. But the thing is, to people at this level, guys, where do you think all the money is going when you're paying for stuff? Where do you think all the money was going when you're going to see, I don't know, where do you think all the money is going? You know, when you go to see, you know, like somebody that you're a fan of, and you pay for a ticket to get to the concert. Some of that's probably going to go to the management. Some of that's going to go to the artist. Some of that, they're making money, guys. They're making big money. So that 750 was not that much, and that's why I say it's worth it for them sometimes to get in trouble for things or to do them with a risk, because they really believe a lot of the time they're going to be able to pay it off. That's what they believe, and that's why this whole Andrew thing is stinging so much for him right now. I assure you, even though I can't really say that, because he cannot pay himself out of this. He is having to go, these people are finally having to go through trials like a normal person. And when I say normal, I don't believe anybody's normal. I think we're all unique and beautiful. But I mean, the average person, there are less people with his level of power and wealth in the world. So people who have less, you know, money and power than him, or who I'm referring to, he's kind of going through some level of that now. But the thing is, the only reason it's really happening as well is because the royal family have decided to say, nope, we're not supporting you, we're not doing this. But that's all coming now. That's coming now. That wasn't coming in the past. That wasn't coming in those 10 years of claims. So you see how there was still a benefit there. And maybe if Virginia hadn't been so confident or persistent, that maybe it would have just gone away, and that's what they were hoping for. Or perhaps for him, he was hoping, he'd already retired, he's probably still making money, or at least living, like having all his needs more than cared for, because he's still royal family. You know, thought he could pay off the girl, pay his legal fees, and go back to that life. And he kind of could have, because you don't think that being retired is not good for him. That's why even this whole 2019 retirement thing, it's not really saying anything, because it kind of works out for people like him. He probably couldn't really be bothered to do his royal duties anyway, because a lot of it involves seeing, like, you know, the public and the fans and things like that. So now he just gets to be doing what he wants to do, retired, still having everything paid off for him because he's in the royal family. Like, do you see what I mean? That's why I just thinking that there's real justice going on a lot of the time. It's just, we're just dumb to think that, and we're dumb to be so blindly supporting and assuming people are people we should trust and we should support. That's why I don't think it's good to be a fan. I think it's good to, you know, I mean, okay, let's say a stan. It's not good to be a stan. It's okay to be a fan, because, you know, you're going to have certain people's music you like, certain people you like on YouTube, certain people you like, actors maybe. You just have certain people you like, or you might want to make an effort, or you might like a comedian. You might want to make the effort to go to the comedian show. Go ahead and do that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying that we've got to be prepared, even still, that people are just still people. You know, and no matter what you know them for, whether it's a talent, whether that is they're royal, they're still a person that's capable of anything. And we're all capable of anything and everything. We may not ever do certain things, but technically we are capable. We have the capability within ourselves. And so that's what's just interesting with this whole Pervy Prince Andy thing, that, you know, he's kind of gone about this in the way that he has. It's very telling. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe as well. I would love to have you here on my channel. I really would. Please don't be put off by my singing, because I really would like to have you. But don't forget to like the video, of course. And other than that, I will see you in my next video. Bye.